No!
That is a genuine dinosaur tooth.
You're a good man, Mike.
Mike, what is that? Is everything okay?
Mike.
Well, on April 20th, 2010, the biggest disaster in terms of an oil rig explosion ever and an oil spill happened off the coast of Louisiana with the Deepwater Horizon oil rig when it blew up and cost 11 people their lives. 115 people overall were struggling for their lives in this massive event that led to an 87-day oil spill into the Gulf of Mexico. This is a true man-made disaster. Well, like all good disasters, you would think that Hollywood would turn it into a film, and now that has happened with Deepwater Horizon, starring Mark Wahlberg as Mike Williams. He's the titular hero of this, even though he's just one of the many, many people on this rig. He is the one that seems to know the most about it, so he's there right to the end as others try to survive simply all of this. The first half of the movie, though, is bogged down with all this technical jargon. It's written by Matthew Sand and Matthew Michael Carnahan, and it looks like they consulted some guide to working on an oil rig and just simply copied all the terms. So much of this is going to go over people's heads, and it was, to me, the filmmakers looking like they were trying to be very, very smart. Instead, I was just lost for the first part, basically waiting for the explosions to happen, because you know from everything on this movie that is a big part of it. The film is in fact directed by Peter Berg, who did Lone Survivor, and if I didn't know this was a Peter Berg film, I would have sworn this was a Peter Berg film. He is a director very interested in visceral impact, in the intense action scenes, and he really zeroes in on it over and over and over again. So when you get to the second half of this film, it is one explosion after another. There is heavy, heavy emphasis on this aspect of it. And really, it seems like a cousin to the Towering Inferno or the Poseidon Adventure or any of those old Irwin Allen disaster movies that Hollywood churned out. Except this one's true. And in a bid to be authentic, I think they've sort of caved in to what is required of these disaster movies to get an audience all involved. I thought that a different approach might have been better, but I am not one of those critics that criticizes the movie for what it isn't, but for what it is. Now, I would like to see a different film dealing with the politics of all of this and what BP went through to try to protect their brand here. Now, I think that would be a very interesting movie, but that is not the movie these filmmakers chose to make. There's nothing wrong with Deepwater Horizon. It is very well made for what it is. It just doesn't have a solid point of view, and I think that's on purpose. It's not pro-oil, it's not anti-oil, it is not trying to do anything political. It's just trying to show you what happened on that night, and I think everybody knows this story. Certainly, it's only 6 years old. I just wish there was more to it. For that reason, I have to say no.